Hey friends, it's Megan Lorson. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about growing your bridal hair business, bridal business tips, and bridal hair tutorials. So today's question came from TikTok. Someone asked me, how do you price for travel when traveling for, it wasn't specified, but how do you charge for pricing for travel for a trial or for a wedding day? And when should the bride pay? Should they pay the day of? Should they pay before? So I'm here to answer those questions and tell you how I do it now and why. So how do you price your travel services? So there's two ways you can do it. You can either price per mile and have a per mileage charge, or you can charge per hour and do it that way. So the average per mile pricing across the board in the United States right now is currently somewhere around 58 cents. Now, that is not what you need to price yours at. If that's what you want to price yours at, you can. But what you really need to determine is how much is your time worth. If you have to travel an hour to a venue and then travel an hour home, how much is your hour worth? What are your expenses? Are you paying for a babysitter for your kids? How much money in gas are you spending? All those different things, wear and tear on your vehicle, maintenance for your vehicle, things like that. It all comes with a price. So you have to think about that and then determine on top of those costs, how much you want to make. Nobody's time is free, so you have to charge something if you're going to be taking a good chunk of your day traveling to and from locations, whether it's for a trial or for doing a wedding. Now, for me personally, I do not travel for trials. It is not worth my time, because it's just not worth my time to travel an hour plus to just do one person, the bride. So I do all of my bridal trials on location at a studio near me, because everything is easily accessible and I can set it up easily, and it's not a lot of my time. Now, it's very different when I'm traveling 1 to 2 hours on an actual wedding day, because I'm doing a large group of people and I'm contracted for a lot more than what it would be just for me to travel for one single person. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, when I often hire other artists, like other makeup artists, other hair artists, to help me and assist me on a wedding day. So when I do their travel, I always base their travel, like what I will pay them, based on a per mile price. It's just easier. That way they can just give me their mileage and say, hey, I traveled this many miles today to and from my house, give it to me, and then I pay them the rate. Now, you can easily, if it's easy, it's just really what's easier for you to charge. I like to kind of round things up and give a round number when giving my brides pricing for travel. I actually no longer price my travel separate. So I now include everything in a package. So I have a couple different wedding packages based on the amount of people that will be needing services for the day of the wedding, but my travel pricing is included in each of those packages for up to 1 hour of travel. Now, if it's anything over an hour, I do price accordingly to how long am I going to be traveling for after that hour. And typically I price mine about $100 an hour if that's to and from. You gotta count your time going to and from. You can't just count it going to. You have to remember that you gotta come back later. So if it's an hour there, it's an hour back, that's 2 hours of travel. So I personally price mine $100 an hour. It's a little bit on the higher side. There are many who price a lot higher than that. There are many who price lower than that. Maybe your price is it's $50 an hour. Maybe it's $25 an hour. But you have to take into consideration too, a lot of times I have an assistant with me too, so I have to pay her. I also have to pay a babysitter. And of course I've got to pay gas and maintenance on my car and all those things. So that is how I factor in everything and how I come up with my price. Also, the question was asking, when do the brides pay for their travel fee? When do they pay? So for me, everything is always taken care of before the trial and before the wedding day, because I don't want to deal with taking payment on the day of, especially on the day of the wedding, because timelines can get crunched and things can start to get really crazy towards the end. Bridesmaids they're starting to get ready, get dressed, the photographer, and there's so much going on. The last thing I want to do is add to that chaos. I don't want to be waiting around any longer than I need to be when I'm finished a wedding, waiting on each individual person to pay me. So all of my brides pay in advance at least a week to a month before their actual wedding day. And then the way I do trials now is that all my brides pay for their trial the day they book it, because that, by them paying for their trial, it secures their appointment spot. Because I don't want to chance, and they can easily change that date around if they need to be, but this eliminates a lot of brides canceling, or it eliminates some of the changing the dates around a lot. But people are just feel more locked in, and it saves so much time for me. So that's how I do it. So then they come to their trial and it's all paid for. We just spend time focusing on the bride, what her inspiration pictures are, what her dreams, goals, visions are for the wedding day. And then we take pictures at the end of the trial, and video, and then she leaves, and that's it. We don't have to worry about payment. It's just done. It's easy. So that is how I currently price for travel and take payment from my brides before their actual appointment dates. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you have anything to add. Let me know how you price your services, or if there's anything that I didn't cover that you want to know more about when it comes to pricing your travel. Let me know in the comments. I read all the comments, and I am happy to answer questions, make videos, make content. This is what I love doing. This is what I love doing. So let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.